does EastEnders have a recasting problem? For anyone not in the know, recast is when they decide to change the actor and give it to a different person to take on their role. A recast can have many different forms. Fuck me, the light's gone off. Hello, I'm in the darkness.
Hello?
Why is that gone off then, is the question.
Has it blown?
Fuck me, that plug is fucking really warm. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. This absolute fucking carnage, bud.
It's just in the video. This has to be in the video.
Yeah, it has to be in the video. Let me just re-plug it in.
I just wait for a spark to come out.
Fucking hell, there we are. That's all staying in. Fucking hell. That's weird. So
a famous example is obviously Mark Fowler. Mark Fowler being recasted. Some people can say it works good or works bad. Honestly, a bad recast, I don't care. Stab me in the throat, I don't care. Ben Mitchell being recast from Harry Reid to Gobshite, whatever the fuck his name.
Well, that's exactly the point, though. A recast can be done to completely change a dynamic of how a person acts. Okay, that plug was just fucking overheating. I'm fucking glad I took that out. Jesus Christ. A recast can be brought in to do a set thing. You want to add a bit more of a grittier edge. Take Charlie Jones recast into Joshua Pascoe. Went from being camp as fuck, pathetic young boy to fucking looks like a mentalist, probably a bit of a Nazi looking Joshua Pascoe. It turns out he was actually a prick in real life as well, so fuck him. All the Peter recasts, it's just sometimes they just can't settle on what they want out of the character. And instead of just binning the character, they decide, fuck it, just recast it, be fine. And I will say sometimes it does kind of, sometimes they do take it a bit far. As controversial as the character is, the Ben Mitchell Harry Reid played and the Ben Mitchell Max Bowden played, you like them or not, completely different characters, Got a completely different iteration. And that's perfectly fine, like what you want. Elaine, different character completely. The first one, people say they like the first one a lot more than they actually did. Let's be fucking real.
Ash, I'm going to raise my hand. I have one, and you're going to be proud of me. You're going to be proud of me, Dad. You're going to be proud of me. Peggy Mitchell.
Exactly, one of the best recasts in history. But then even if Reddit was around in 91 or whenever the fuck she was recast, people would have went, I don't understand why they're getting rid of her, honestly. It actually looks nothing like original Peggy Mitchell.
You probably can find some chat forums where they're complaining. Honestly, that would be something they'd go through. I know they're probably all dead and they're probably very hard to archive. But fuck me, I'd love to go through a 1995 fucking EastEnders chat room, AOL chat room fucking forum. Bloody hell, they just don't know what to do with Grant Mitchell. And who's this Billy Mitchell character and why is he beating up his child? Jesus Christ.
But, I mean, fuck me, the light going off really distracted from the video. But, sometimes it's necessary. David Scarborough, who played the original Mark Fowler, tragic circumstances surrounding all that, had to be recast to get him to be a recurring character. And even then, that character was treated like complete shit anyways. There's a fucking absolutely miserable lifespan of that character.
But just to praise him, fair fucks to, especially in 85, to turn around to Julia Smith. Is that her name?
Yep.
I turn around and go, fuck off, I'm not being racist.
Yeah, I'm not being racist. And there's even a clip of the actor who played Kelvin Carpenter being like, nobody's done that to me before. Basically put his fucking job on the line for me. Which is a really cool thing. But, it serves a purpose. And I will I don't think they've been super loose with recasts over the years. Like, obviously, the Johnny, Ben, Peter are the main examples. And it's just one of those times. Yeah, Bobby as well. It's one of those times where it's one of those.
And Denny.
Yeah, he was kind of consistent. He had like 2 main people doing it, but it's one of those things where sometimes it's a necessary evil. Sometimes, like in Neighbours, and like COVID happened, and then the actor had to like stay in his like. I'm thinking it was like a foreign actor, not living in Australia, so he had to fucking. Well, we've recasted him to finish up the storyline because he can't get into Australia because it's in the fucking lockdown. It's like, fuck, fair play. But let's see what the r/EastEnders subreddit is going on to say. Wish EastEnders would stop recasting characters. When things don't work out with an actor, I wish they'd just write off the character off the show. Mess up with story continuity and production integrity. I love all the big words being used. It sounds like nonsense, but you know.
This sounds like me giving a take. You just look at Ben Mitchell. He's a big football player in a small world of African children. Piggy, what the fuck are you on about? I don't know. I love this fucking wordplay.
There are extreme circumstances, like the sad death of David Scarborough, where I can understand they'd want to bring another actor after a respectful period of years. But it's happening so often now, the turnover is at a point where a character goes on holiday and comes back a completely different person. Completely untrue, of course. There's not been that many recasts. There's been Johnny, there's been Peter, who was recast at Old Johnny. There was Liam Butcher in 2019, 2021-ish, that period. There's not been that many recasts, let's be honest. Like, it's not like, oh, bloody hell, Phil's gone out for a shave. Fucking, what do you mean? He's just another bald man. Like, it's not that bad. It's not. How many, like, EastEnders recasts 2020? I could be wrong, I could be completely wrong. But and Elaine, of course. Elaine's a recast. But it's not that fucking frequent. And let's be real, it may change continuity with a character, but it's a soap, for fuck's sake. Like, and even then, so it I guess it does create a whole myriad of other issues. Like, if you cast a much older actor for a role where he's supposed to be like 20, and the best actor you get is like 40. Suddenly when the actor starts balding and starts fucking aging, I guess the character's just older then, I guess the character's just aged like shit.
See, how I describe it in Simpsons terms, it's like if you cast Hans Moleman to be Bart Simpson, and then Bart Simpson comes back to play Bart Simpson. Like, I understand in that circumstance, you don't want to cast a 80-year-old to play a fucking 20-year-old in case the original actor comes back. But you can't just get, like, if we just gave up on a character after the actor went, hey, I want to leave the show, there'd be no fucking show. Because, characters, not every recast is necessary. Like, Ben Mitchell didn't need to be recasted 600 times. I would have just been happy with small little Charlie Jones. But I can't wait for that comment. So it's like, I understand for some, but you can't complain about everyone. Johnny is a necessary recast. Yeah, the middle one is shit, and the first one's, in my opinion, a little sausage. He's all right. Ash just hates him because he was in one of the fucking, what was the movies he was in?
Oh, he was in one of the Leatherface, like, it was in a Leatherface prequel.
But yeah, Ash hates him for that. But you can't just say every recast is bad, because there is examples where it's good, but yeah, there is examples where it's bad. And sometimes maybe let's just take Lexi. If Lexi, or not Amy, let's just take Amy. The Amy before the current character who plays her was not that good. Well, she was all right, but she couldn't play a mature storyline, because you look at her going, "I'm so charming." You're not supposed to laugh, but you'd go, "This really doesn't suit your acting range. No offense, for you want to change it now." And then you recast someone to bring them in and go, "Look, I need you to be this older, mature character. You're 15 on the show. I need you to be a bit more mature." That's fine, because you can't, because then you can take her seriously. You don't want an 11-year-old going, "Dad, I'm cutting myself." because to me, it just
like
it wouldn't
the Amy
work.
Mitchell one is an example because the previous Amy Mitchell, look, some, she clearly wouldn't have been able to carry this really serious storyline about self-harm. It definitely wouldn't have. She struggled to say, "Dad, when's tea?" Sometimes it's necessary evil. And just to continue, let's see what, the person who clearly despises recasts, which I don't mind personally. And the turnover is at a point where a character goes on holiday and comes back a completely different person. As said before, doesn't happen. Confusing for the viewer and embarrassing for the show. Either the PTB need to work better on retention or writing creative exit lines, because there's been, 7 Ben Mitchells and 7 Peter Beals. Also, when the EastEnders team are constantly swapping out actors, it takes away the potential for an actor who has left temporarily to return to the show in the future. I mean, very true, I guess, but whatever.
I can contradict this. You say there's been 7 different fucking Peter Beals. Oh, they can't bring back the original. Nay, what happened last year? Literally, what happened last year? They brought back the original Peter Beal.
Potential is now being restored, I guess. You can now resume back. I don't know, it's one of those things I've never really understood. For the most part, the recast is generally a better choice as to what the previous one was. And I think that all the different recasts generally stand for something different. It's never just the same character. They're never just cutting off the one character's head despite the nose. They're still the same characteristics. It's supposed to be the same character. But, Ben Hardy's Peter and Thomas Law's Peter, they're 2 different fucking characters entirely. And even, and the Bens. Obviously, the Bens were different characters. Charlie Jones, sweet innocent. Joshua Pascoe, fucking mental nutter. To Harry Reid, bit more sensitive, bit more just trying to get by, doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes he's made in the past. To Max Bowden, who, fucking had the fucking worst possible time that you could fucking possibly have.
It's just...
Make sure those plugs are going to fucking explode.
I have to sit my head taking time, Paul. He's not going to survive, brother. If you don't hear from Ash in 3 days, send help, brother, HH. But yeah, I don't understand where you're coming from, lads. Because I understand it might get confusing for someone who's casually watching. But you say the character enough times. So when Johnny came back, it might have been confusing for someone who hasn't watched in 10 years. But if you keep going, that's Johnny, 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 you're eventually going to go, that's Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? You are just going to recognize them beyond a certain point. It doesn't take the brain that long to adjust. And for most of these characters, it's not like they're casting long established characters who have had a lot of storylines. Usually it's just kind of all right, Johnny has been recast to someone else, and we don't really care anymore because it's Johnny Carter. Let's put a new liquid paint on him. But I mean, fuck it. We've said our say with this, so let's figure out the next way of attack here. Let's see what the subreddit says. I can get on board with a recast, even if it takes a while to adjust. My issue is when they have a personality transplant. There's been so many times all across soaps where characters return with a new head and a dark edge. Why not just introduce a whole new character, as the character we get is far from the one we knew initially? Not a terrible shout. That's a fair point. I don't really have much to counteract this. It is a very frequent occurrence. I can get why people would get upset about this. Sometimes you just... I suppose also the Liam Butcher recast as well. You didn't need to do that, did you? You just shit on the character for no reason. You make this sweet boy trying to look out for his family. You make him a little fucking schemer chancer that he never was. That bit I get. Those ones are frustrating. As somebody who liked the Max Bowden Ben, no, not what I meant. As somebody like the Harry Reid Ben, the Max Bowden Ben a little bit frustrating, because where I would have liked the character to go, the character didn't go. Obviously, he had something to be appreciated separately, like what he did was good enough, like solid Ben. Not mine, but that's fine. Someone says, I agree, recasting doesn't bother me in the slightest, but hate when the character is totally rewritten. That's fair enough. Says, some recasts are better than the others. The Dark Edge recast makes you crazy. Why can't the guy on the show just say sweet and kind without eventually become a psychopath? I mean, I will say, the Ben turning into a fucking, like, Ben turning into a, like, hard nut was Phil's doing. Like, Ben was constantly... I feel like it's an integral part into the Ben Mitchell character. Ben tries so hard to be the son that Phil would have wanted, but he goes too far all the time. And that's the whole part of the character. He did it with Jordan when he said, you need slapping down. Did it with Heather because, Mitchells don't snitch, don't fucking... Heather, how dare you fucking snitch on me.
Wait, hold on. Heather's on Mitchell?
No, but, like, just that kind of, like, sort her out.
Oh.
Like,
I was like, holy shit. That is something
Heather
I
is
never
not
knew.
a Mitchell. But, like, I kind of... But I feel like that was inevitable, though. That Ben Mitchell path was inevitable. They were going to make him a bad because ultimately he's Phil Mitchell's son. And just like Ben, just like Phil, Ben can't help himself. He goes too far always in trying to prove himself because he feels constantly inferior to what Phil would have wanted him to be. Someone says, I don't really mind when it's younger characters, they get recast once they're older, but the number of different adult Bens we've had are ridiculous, not to mention they've all had a different personality. Yeah, it's just about seeing what works. We've seen a lot of different iterations of Ben, and I will say, the fact that people care enough is a pretty good sign. Like, if people like the Ben Mitchell character enough to have their favourite Ben, it shows that it was actually working on some level. And it's not like fucking Vi Highway and it's like, fuck off. Like, the fact that there's actually so much fanfare behind a character does mean that's quite good. Because ultimately, people gave a fuck.
Are you telling me you're a big fan of Vi fucking Highway? Mate, you don't know real characters when you fucking slap them in the face. You don't know real characters.
Someone said, don't get me started. It's like when little Arthur Slater jumped into a bouncy castle, and jumped off with an entirely different head. What? There's no way they fucking did that. Like,
you have to fact check that for me.
Someone they did put the receipts on. I won't lie. They did reference an episode. I'll cross check it eventually. I won't. I'm lying.
Pause it very quickly. Jump to that episode. Clip it, and then.
Someone says, I prefer recast be used as sparingly as possible, though I appreciate it's sometimes unavoidable, as it does often damage the authenticity of a character. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm kind of... Someone's saying the previous incarnation of Ben was the 6th. Yeah, fucking hell. Someone's having a moan about Max Bowden not being not being appreciated. Classic.
Is that a Callum and Ben down here at Ballamstan?
No, apparently just a Max fan. Oh yeah, I forget that Bobby's a recast as well. You mentioned it before, but I like the new Bobby. I appreciate the way they took the character. It's always gonna be interesting to see the way they fucking gonna be interesting to see. Also, just will say, look, people are really resistant to change, and I say this as someone on the autism spectrum. I don't mind the change that much. I really don't care. But I will say, as someone who is supposed to, like, get really upset about change, and I do get upset about change, I don't fucking care about it in my soaps. Like, you know, I do catch feelings about certain things, but people fucking, I'll take the piss out of autistic people not handling change. None of you motherfuckers allow any of these soap characters to change whatsoever. Someone in this thread's talking about new Martin being shit. He's been Martin for 12 years. Or 9 years, man. Like, it's been here for 10 years.
10 come December.
Like, some people, like I said, it's just, I feel like some people just cut off the nose and spite their face, like, yeah, but then they're new though, and I don't like this one, I like the old one. And just like, yeah, but of course they're different.
Right. My problem with going, I don't like the new Martin. I understand if he was introduced like a year or two ago, maybe 5. I'll push at 5. But he's been, what's his name? No, James Alexander is the other one, isn't it?
He's James By.
Or James By. James By has been Martin for 10 fucking years. James Alexander is gone. He's not even on the show anymore. He's not even here. He's in fucking space, shall we say. Like 5 years.
He played him from... James Alexander played Martin from...
1999, 1997.
From 96 to 2007, so that is, 11 years. And...
No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I've looked it up, mate. Don't fucking... No, you're wrong. And don't fucking...
I thought you said 97, so I was like, wait, is he saying 10 years? 11 years?
No, 11 years, and Martin Fowler was cast in the role, and, you know, it's basically like late 2014. It will have been 10 years. In a year's time, he will have been Martin for the same time as original Martin. And I will say it is something hard to do, because, look, if you're casting a younger actor, and they want to move on to different projects, but they still want to come back as Ben, like... There's only so much they can fucking do. Maybe they can lock down time for this Ben Mitchell character, but they've got a bunch of ideas for the Ben Mitchell character. They want to take it a different direction. Like, there's only so much you can do. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really know where to go with this anymore. I think it's just I respect people disliking recasts. Obviously, the Michelle Fowler. Obviously, that recast lives in infamy for being notoriously shit. And it's definitely seemed to happen more over the years, and definitely more in the worst times of the show. Like, the Michelle recast, the Elaine recast, the fucking even the Liam, the Bobby, the Peter, the Bens. They've all liked to throw them around, but I will say it is because there are only so many, like, legacy characters. Like, as much as you would love to be able to constantly, make new characters, the issue is some people aren't going to buy into the new characters. Some people are just going to be like, who the fuck's this? Like, take Hayley Slater, for example. No one fucking cares because she had no family that were important other than the Slaters, who she was tangentially related to. And then what she was given was garbage, so she's probably never going to return, because fucking who cares? But, a Ben Mitchell, that's a big polarizing character. Peter Beale, it's a big polarizing character. So for the lesser ones that aren't these big legacy ones, you don't really care that much. Like, it doesn't matter that much. But...
Actually, when I become executive producer of EastEnders, I'm reverting Alfie back to evil Alfie, and I am bringing back Hayley Slater, not the actress, because she's to see you next Tuesday and was involved in a hate crime. Ironic, considering Hayley Slater, the character, would definitely commit a hate crime.
And
before she turned good.
I think just a roundabout way to end this video, honestly, is I don't fucking know if EastEnders is a recasting problem. Some of them have been bad, some of them have been good. But I mean, also, Like, we wouldn't have gotten Shirley Carter had the actress not appeared in EastEnders before. We wouldn't have had Denise had she not have had some smaller roles as the character. We wouldn't have had Karen Taylor if she hadn't have been like the girl that Jay was seeing who turned out to be underage's fucking mum playing the same character. Like, sometimes the recasts are necessary and sometimes they make for the best characters possible. And it's just it's the nature of the beast. There are so many different factors that go into being a long-running soap star. Some people have ambitions. Some people want to be a film star. Some people want to go off and do something else. Some people don't want to spend 20 years being one character in EastEnders, for fuck's sake. And that's perfectly reasonable, because that's a lot of time. So yes, we don't know if they have a recasting problem. I think it's definitely a lot more overblown than people in this thread are talking about it. And I know it's a very small sample size, and that's, we all have our takes. But, you can look at some of the recasts and go, yeah, maybe that one was a bit weird. Maybe that one was a bit strange. But there we are. Tell us if you think EastEnders has a casting problem in the comment section down below. We've been watching Walford. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, make sure to leave a like, a comment, and a subscribe. And if you want to join in on the conversation we have weekly in the Discord, join the Discord. Link in the description. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.